okay?
Due process.
Due process is in the Kansas Constitution and the U.S. Constitution.
Correct.
So they're not being taken, any rights are being, rights not being taken away from anyone. What that specifically does is that it gives the Board of Education and the superintendent the right to do what is necessary for their district. That's what that does.
They currently have that.
Not the way
Yes,
it
they
is. Okay. Any other questions?
So
Go ahead, sir.
what I would like to add to that is, you know, we have heard from many of you over the years that you would like more local control. And we have delivered on that promise. We have more local authority through due process, through the way we have orchestrated the funding formulas, so it's equalized. We have raised the LOB option for Johnson County from 31 to 33%, which I'm sure if it comes up for a vote in 2 years, that nobody's gonna vote against that. So, and we're giving other school districts around the state the opportunity to raise their local option budgets. And I will say a compromise was done on this. There were some of us in the legislature who would have liked for that local option budget increase, which is a tax increase, to go before the public for a vote. And we understand and we heard that there was a little angst about getting that done in time for the election cycle. So I compromised and I said, let's go ahead and raise people's, give the opportunity for your local school board to vote on a tax increase, to increase the LOB that will put more money into your classroom. And we got that done.
Could you answer the question of what was wrong with the first version of the House bill that was supported broadly by even the governor? What was wrong with that required all of these policy additions?
It really didn't change anything.
Then why did they
within the
support it?
equalization.
Why did the
I don't
governor and
know,
the
I'm not
whole
in, I
House
was
support
not
it?
in the House. I didn't hear the arguments on that bill. So maybe Representative Dove, you could
We did-
address that.
A lot of the information from that particular bill came from the Appropriations Committee. And I'm not on appropriations. I'm not dodging a bullet here, but I'm just, I know there was a lot of conversation about it. And there had to be a lot of compromise in coming to where we were. And a lot of people are not, they're not looking at the positive sides of this. One of the things that was proposed was that virtual schools was going to be cut by 50%, okay? Now, I talked personally with a superintendent because when he called me on that bill, I was completely surprised because it wasn't in the bill when we left. However, the Thursday before we went back to session, it showed up. How it showed up, I don't know. I was not in the room. What I was told by the chairman of that committee that really it's not in the bill. Well, when I got there on Monday morning, it's in the bill. I'm like, oh no, we can't do this.
So no one really knew what
So-
they were voting on, is that correct?
No, I didn't say that. It was in the bill. It wasn't voted on by anyone yet.
Okay.
Because it has to come from the committee to the House. We had never seen it. And so we were really caught off guard. I don't know where it came from, but it wasn't going to, but enough conversation and there was enough legislators there that feel very strongly about education that there was a lot of turmoil. So on some side, and I'm telling you, some side discussion says this, look, we're not gonna do this. And my personal, if you're gonna cut virtual schools, I'm out. I'm voting against the bill completely. And a lot of other legislators felt the very same way. The weightings of that bill have to do with some transportation issues. Well, we know for a fact that those weightings are overpaying the education system as far as transportation. And transportation has admitted that those dollars are there. They should not have been there. So what has been happening in many cases in the past, ma'am, is that we've been able to retrieve some of those dollars and put them back into the general fund and disperse them out into the community. And one of the areas is our social services. So a lot of people aren't thinking about some of the things that we've done that have helped education. They're thinking of all the things that they think we've done that's going to hurt education.
But a clean bill would have avoided all of that.
It is a clean bill.
A clean bill would not have included the LOB portion. And I think what everyone in the room needs to know is the House ran a bill first. It goes to the Senate. The Senate Education Committee gets to take a look. And that's what we did. I'm not on the Senate Education Committee, but that's how the process works. So, what ultimately was produced was, in a way, well, I can just tell you it's the legislative process, because what comes in on the front end usually isn't what comes out on the back end. And if there were assumptions made that if a bill passes the House and it comes to the Senate, we could have concurred on that and said, yeah, we agree with the House, but we didn't, because we're a different body, and so we have an opportunity, so.
Hi.